y'all, this is Marley K. Hope everybody is doing good. I have a raccoon report from the National Catholic Reporter. New York Mayor Eric Adams hails Pope Francis as a global influencer ahead of Vatican meeting. Now this came out on today. So, in order for him to be saying this, his ass must be on the line. They must be ready to get rid of this joker because I just can't even see. But I must say, a lot of these um, Caribbean and other Black people from other nations, South American, these folks are Catholic. So, like, they might look like us, they may sound like us, they might try to have our swag, but they ain't us. And so when I say us, I mean the African American child. They might be descendants of chattel slavery, but they're still indoctrinated, or they have given their powers over to the beast. And this joker here, he's straddled the fence. He'll one minute be hollering and screaming, and the next minute he'll be team beast. So we can't pay him no attention. But I just want to highlight how the Pope is asserting himself in everything, everywhere, and his power is growing. He's beginning to speak. You can see his wounds are almost healed. As America declines in power, his power and authority is rising. And you can see his footprint everywhere in everything. If you're looking like I'm looking, you see it. So you can't, it's undeniable. And I know there are a lot of Israelite teachers out there who are teaching about um, just some are really focused on prophecy and present truth, but not necessarily connecting the a part of who the beast is or what the beast will look like. We are talking about the how the infrastructure is being set up and how you can see the rise again of Rome. So I just want to point that out because I haven't really been talking about it for a while, but it is really prevalent. Like the stories, their media is pumping out so much stuff. It's like, it has to be a lead up to something big. And whatever is coming is going to be that call for peace and presentation of safety when he speaks. But then, of course, the persecution is going to come when you decide you don't want to worship when they tell you to worship. You'll be denied access to buying and selling, and then you will be receiving your persecution. What that will be depends on probably what color you are, what continent you live on, and how egregious your descent is. But we can guarantee it's coming. So, this is a data point, just something for us to keep an eye on as we are keeping watch of all these things unfold as the end of this age continues. So, ahead of the meeting with Pope Francis at the Vatican this weekend, New York's Mayor Eric Adams hailed the pontiff as a global influencer and one of the few world leaders to help lead during dark times. He is what children would say. He's an influencer. He's a credible messenger, Adams told National Catholic Reporter in a May 10th interview, which is today. Notice how quickly they're getting this stuff out. The mayor is here in Rome to participate in the World Meeting of Human Fraternity, which is his latest encyclical. And I haven't had a chance to go through it. That's why I haven't talked about it. It's so long, but I got to go through it because there are a lot of things that are going to be relevant to us as Israelites, as here in Babylon, um, as we transition from one order to the new order and us being in the belly of the beast. We need to go over it. So I'm going to go over it. I just have not had time, and I apologize again. But I will include a link in the description so that you can go through it yourselves. You need to learn how to do this stuff, do this type of research yourself, because everything that's going on impacts every single person on this globe. And it's more work than you can shake a stick at. So the more you can scour and understand, it helps you, it helps me, it helps people in your circles, because we're all going to, again, to be impacted by this. And so knowledge is power. Knowledge and wisdom helps us endure to the end. So that's what this is all about. Continuing. The mayor is in Rome, which is taking place May 10th through the 11th, and bringing together some 30 Nobel Peace Prize winners to dialogue with political leaders, community organizers, scientists, economists, and others in hopes of deepening social bonds. While Adams is not Catholic, he identifies as a Christian, which is just as dangerous. A Christian and Catholic, you can't even tell the difference anymore, because they are both um, just they've merged, you may as well say. If you're going to church, you part of this beast system. um, and you'll be doing exactly what they want. You have the mark of the Pope already, because you'll be worshiping on Sunday, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to rest on Sunday. You're not going to see any problem with resting on Sunday, because you already worship on Sunday. So you feel like you're doing something good, not really understanding that you are disobeying the Most High and obeying the beasts. You will have his mark, and your fate will be sealed. So learn about the Sabbath, learn about the law, statutes, and commandments, read your word for yourselves, and make sure you have a clear understanding of what's to come. So it says, while Adams is not a Catholic, he identifies as Christian and told NCR that he was recently baptized again to recommit himself to my faith and recommit myself to the work that is needed. Let me read that again. So he was baptized again to recommit myself, quote, to recommit myself to my faith and recommit myself to the work that is needed. Quote, we separate church and state, but you can never separate your heart and your faith, and God has placed it on my heart to do this work, end quote, he added. Of course, because he is heading up the migration train in New York, and he's been on board, then got off board, then he got offline, then they messed around and hemmed him up, and he had to go to Washington. Then they turned the Negro around mid-flight, like, nah, you can't come. So now he got to go see Papa Pope. So you know he done messed up. And he probably is getting gonna get got. He's probably gonna tell him, you don't do this, we're gonna get everybody. We're gonna get your mom, we're gonna get your daddy, we're going to the islands, we're gonna find people you ain't knew was kin to you and get them too. We're gonna get everybody. We're gonna strip you of your wealth, we're gonna strip you of your little power, you ain't gonna have nothing. So these black leaders ain't gonna do us no good. If you're still thinking about politics and black leadership, I don't even know what to say for you at this point. So it says, we uh oh, this is quote. So it says the 63-year-old mayor, I didn't know he was that old, who has led New York since 2022, is known for peppering speeches with religious language, and recently described himself as a prayer warrior. In 2023, he sparked an outcry among religious leaders and New Yorkers alike when in an interfaith prayer service he seemed to question the separation of church and state. And here in the eternal, and so you see how they got these raccoons. They pick who they want. They groom these people, or they watch to see who they can easily influence, who's cowards, who's open to being used by the adversary. The adversary knows who to go get. And these people who love money and love power, who are arrogant and prideful, they're like easy people to go get. They'll sell their souls. Although I'm sure he won't call it that, but he's basically sold his soul. You can watch. You've seen him just devolve into nothingness. Um, so I don't really pay him any attention. But again, we're just talking about how people allow themselves to be used for this new global order, and he's one of them. Lots of raccoons everywhere just being used. I don't even understand, but anyway. And here in the eternal city, his Zanar isn't backing down on the role that he believes faith can and should play in global affairs. There's that global talk. Ticking off a list of problems facing the world, including the wars in Ukraine and Gaza and the climate crisis. They're going to throw that damn climate crisis in everything. It ain't nobody even talking about climate, but they somehow managed to get it in there. Adam said there's one common thread. One. We're in a world order. One common thread. One health this. Everything is one. One religion. Coming under one umbrella. See the thing. There is a demonic spirit that has engulfed our planet and people are hurting. Demonic spirit is right. And you is helping spit it out. I don't care what people say. It's time to pray, he insisted. It's time to go inward. It's time to understand that economic stability is not going to give us joy. Because you're trying to enslave all of us with these folks in your 15-minute city. The Pope, he said, recognizes this, and by inviting so many leaders to Rome for the Vatican-backed Human Fraternity Conference, is holding what the mayor characterized as a family reunion of demons. That's what it is. Demon reunion. Union and reunion. He's bringing the family to the table, and he's saying to the family that you cannot allow a migrant or an asylum seeker to sleep on your street if you don't see them as a brother. He said, what the hell? They let homeless American people sleep on the street. They let black veterans sleep on the street for decades, especially after Vietnam. They let crackheads sleep on the street after they put the drugs in our community. They let homeless kids that they yanked from their parents uh, sleep on the streets. Foster kids are sleeping in hotels, and I mean, come on. Don't make me tell you about where people are sleeping at. You cannot allow children to die across the globe because of wars if you don't see them as your children, as your nephew, as your niece. Well, we don't start the wars. They do. What kind of stuff is this? That's why you can't listen to these leaders, because they're full of it. They are full of it. Adams specifically praised the Pope for his efforts to raise awareness about climate change. Oh, here we go. Here we go, Lord. Woo! I tell you, climate change. Get the violin, somebody. Get the violins. For many years, we ignored climate change, he said. Just get on your nerves. What the Pope is doing with millions of Catholics across the globe is forcing Catholics that may have not engaged in a conversation on climate change to say, if His Holiness is talking about this, I need to take note of this. When we have Earth Day, I can always say Happy Mother's Day because we have two mothers. One gave birth to us and the other sustains us, the mayor added. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go. Earth worship, sun worship. Oh, it's always all these worshiping of different things. Idolatry. And we have been abusive to Mother Earth for a long time. No, we ain't. We ain't did nothing because I didn't abuse her. Now, indirectly, I may have because I'm incarcerated here in Babylon. So we have to work. And in the process of working, so we can feed ourselves on these plants and plantations, um, yes, I'm sure we have helped pollute the earth, but we didn't intentionally do it. If we were not here enslaved and in captivity, we would have been living like everybody else who's indigenous. We'd have probably been still doing what the Most High told us to do, how to live the ways and practice our own culture. But we have been prohibited from doing that. And that is is how our community, ends up contributing to harming the globe. But the Most High knows what we've done. He knows why we are in the situation we're in, and He will correct, you know, what's going on. So it says, I don't know of another person of his stature in the faith community that has been so upfront and out front on this issue, said Adam. So you see how everybody's bigging him up. You get your little invite, and he's bigging him up. And he ain't get no invite for nothing. He got an invite because he's going to be the face of Babylon when it falls, because it's going to start in NYC. And every movie you've ever seen about this place being destroyed, it always starts in NYC. So, you know, don't get gassed up because he's over there. He's there for a purpose. He's playing a role in a movie. We all are in the movie. During his past 2 years on the job in New York, the former police captain has been known as a man about town, quick to give constituents his cell number if they approach him on the street, and out into the wee hours of the morning visiting New York's restaurants, theaters, and clubs. His colorful personality and his willingness to challenge institutional norms has met mixed reviews, not unlike the Pope's own governance style over the last decade. I enjoy so much being among the people, he said, adding that he doesn't travel with a heavy security presence. Is this him telling on himself? So I'm just saying, you could just kind of see where this going. People don't want bureaucracy. They want to make sure that you're committed to the pains that they're feeling, said Adams. You can't give a person stats. People want to authentically know, are you willing to reach out of your comfort zone and lean into what people are feeling? And the Pope understands that, said the mayor. I think he's the right leader for the time we're in right now. So that's the end of the article. But um, child of raccoons is tap dancing and getting butter biscuits, and they're just doing everything. I just don't even know what to say about them myself. But in any event, uh, these people are wild. As you can see, you know, a lot of things are happening. A lot of things are happening. I can't bring them all to you because it's so much. But I'm trying to figure out a way how I can put some things together for y'all to just click on and read for yourselves, because I really cannot produce videos, even if they're not that long. Like, it's just so much stuff happening. But I need to get another way for y'all to read. And I know people don't like to read, but I'm like literally reading this stuff. Nobody's talking about this stuff that's not in the news. The stuff that they're not talking about in churches. Nobody, but few people are talking about it, especially in the Israelite community. So I hope y'all appreciate these people who are taking the time to sift through this stuff and share it with you. It is a lot, and things are moving so fast, so we have to stay on top of it. So whatever happens, whether it's the aliens and spaceships, whether it's natural disasters or man-made disasters or economic collapse, whatever, we will know what's going to come when these things happen, because a lot of things are probably going to happen at one time, and we need to be prepared. So y'all keep prepping, keep praying, keep seeking the Most High, obeying those laws, statutes, and commandments, learning those laws, statutes, and commandments, repenting daily for sins of commission and sins of omission. Can't leave out repentance and turning away from sin. Um, Lastly, please try to share as much of the content as you can with your people. I know people are very stubborn and hard-headed today, not interested. But one thing you can say is, if you've tried to warn people and they don't listen, and you don't have any obligation, you don't have any blood on your hands if something happens to them, and you don't have any obligation to assist them should the hour come where folks are going to have to go up in their houses, shut their doors, and be quiet. For a lot of us Israelites, that day is coming. sooner than we know. So the more you know, the better off you are. All right. This is Marla Kay ending her raccoon correspondence, and I'm out.